Peace and blessings, family. Once again, it's time for me to check in a little bit with another edition of Spiritual Food for Thought. Well, family, I hope all is well in your relationship with the Creator as you continue on your journey to find out your divine purpose and understanding what the Creator had in mind when He created you. You know, this should be our number one concern as the created beings we are, is to understand, what and who we are as far as our Creator is concerned. And see, this is why, I continue to admonish you, to understand the reality and the importance of having the spirit of your Creator, that you can come to see yourself through His eyes, because, in the end, family, the only thing that matters is how our Creator sees us, and coming to understand the reality that all He ever wanted, each of us, is to be ourselves, but with the understanding of His mind. This is what being born of His Spirit is about, because, the beauty of what the Creator is doing is giving us an understanding of ourselves through His eyes as we go on this quest and this journey to find the absolute truth of why we're here and what we're really supposed to be doing. And so, this is why I continue to, try to encourage you as my brothers and sisters, is to seek the Creator for yourself. One of the beautiful things that He's doing through the revelation of His Spirit that He, placed within us, He's dispelling the lies that's enslaved us to the thinking of this world. And, one of the things that, the Son said is that we should not be conformed to the image of this world, but we should be transformed or changed by the renewing of our minds. And actually, the renewal of our minds is our minds being made spiritually alive, and brought into the presence of our Creator so that we could behold ourselves through His eyes. Because, if we don't see ourselves through His eyes, then we are seeing ourselves through the spirit of pride, that causes us to be self-aware and separated from the divine knowledge and wisdom and understanding of our Creator so that we could be ourselves. Understanding the reality that, the Creator wanted a relationship with each of us, and that's all possible by the revelation or understanding of His Spirit and understanding that He placed a piece of Himself in each of us, and our responsibility as the divine creatures that we are is to know ourselves. You know what I'm saying? To come to understand our own divinity. And when I'm saying divinity, family, like I said, divine means one, So as we become one with our Creator, then we're able to be what and who the Creator desired us to be so that we could truly serve the Creator in the spirit of divine love that makes us one, Because the goal of the Creator is to bring forth the oneness of His creation. And this is what I'm saying, the oneness of His creation is under the spirit of divine love. We all know our purpose and our place, family, so we're free to be ourselves in the Creator so that we can understand that His desire is to make us one with Him, each other, our fellow creatures, and Mother Earth, and who He brought us all forth from, such is the kingdom of heaven. And so, this is why each of us must come to understand our journey and our purpose and how we truly are being prepared for the next world. And the next world is the kingdom of heaven, where we'll all know our purpose and our place, and we'll be free to be ourselves and be the best that each of us could be so that we truly can serve the Creator as we serve one another in the spirit of divine love. Okay? So, with that said, before I go on with this topic, I want to make my little disclaimer. I'm not no teacher. I'm not no position or title that we're admonished not to choose. Okay? I am simply a lay brother that's sharing some of the thoughts that the Creator brings to my mind. And I put it out there, and the desire is to encourage you to use the mind that the Creator gave you. And that mind is ultimately driven by a desire to know yourself through His eyes, because that's the thing that truly matters. So the bottom line is, family, when the scripture says that it's in Him that we live, move, and have our being, that means that the Father has everything to do with us. Even in this process that we're being made and created with the understanding of our Creator to come into our true inheritance one day of actually what the kingdom is. And as I said, ultimately in the kingdom, we're going to be made one with our Creator in all things, okay? Because all of creation is an expression of everything that the Creator is. We need to know our place and our purpose, though. Because if we're not being guided by His Spirit, family, we're just wandering aimlessly through this existence, not knowing our purpose or anything, because we've been deceived by the distractions and the cares of this life that causes us to live unnaturally and in violation of the laws of nature. That's the slavery that we're in right now, and we need to be delivered from the slavery of the lies that we've been told to cause us to live separate from the divine will of our Creator. And, only the Creator can deliver us from that. And as He placed this piece of His Spirit within us, this is the thing that causes us to be aware of our Creator, the presence of our Creator, and having this drive or desire to know ourselves through the eyes of our Creator. Because until we do, family, we can't know ourselves. And until we know ourselves, family, we can't control ourselves. So we're simply driven by the lust of the flesh, which is the desires for the things of this world that continue to lift us up and puff us up in more pride, so we become more separated from the divine consciousness of our Creator. So, with that said, what I want to touch on is this, family. When I've said that, our greatest desire should try to understand how the Creator sees us. And as we continue to seek after and desire to be filled with the Spirit of the Creator, so we can know ourselves, because one of our biggest desires in knowing and understanding things, we need to understand the reality. It's like, make it make sense, okay? We need to understand the reason and the purpose of our existence where we are right now, okay? And we got to understand that, as I said, as we are in the process or the experience of His permissive will, okay? And when I say permissive will, we need to understand that the permissive will of the Creator is this experience of good and evil that we're going through right now. Because, as I said, one of the things we got to understand is the holiness of the Creator. And as I said, holiness means a creator of order, divine order, okay, where everything is in its place and walking in its purpose, okay, in its divine purpose under the spirit of the divine love of the Creator that makes us one with our Creator ultimately each other, our fellow creatures in this world, and Mother Earth, and who we were brought forth from. And so, in this existence here, family, as we experience the battle of good and evil, ultimately, the Creator's purpose for allowing this is that we can be made spiritually alive to Him. You know, as I said, family, you know, the reason that we are in this condition is because we were not created spiritually alive, okay? And what I'm saying is, you know, it was spoken that in creation, it said, as far as man is concerned, okay, it said that the Creator breathed into his nostrils and man became a living soul. Well, you know, what I've been saying for a while now is understanding the reality that the soul is the spirit of our senses, of sight, touch, taste, smell, and hearing, okay? This is how we experience, okay? This is how we receive information that gives us our understanding so that we carry ourselves according to our understanding. Okay, without the senses, family, how would we receive information? Okay, and so we have to understand, family, that as in our flesh, we are soul and body. Okay, now the spirit is our essence, the essence of what and who we are, according to the divine will and plan of our Creator. And so the only way for us to truly find ourselves and that we can ultimately serve the Creator in spirit and truth under the spirit of divine love that causes us to understand and be sensitive to nature. So when I'm talking about being sensitive to nature, I mean divine nature, and understand that it's an order to divine nature, which is what holiness is. Okay, so the thing is, as we are made spiritually alive, okay, we come to understand that our purpose is to love one another. But we can't do that until we understand the divine love of the Creator that the Creator has for us. Okay, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about coming into the presence of the Creator. Okay, because it's the only way we can truly know ourselves. And as we begin to know ourselves through the divine revelation of the Creator, family, we're able to love ourselves in a spirit of humility, okay, that causes us to understand that we're supposed to be in service to one another. Because until we know our place in nature, family, we're just headed for our own destruction and being deceived. And so when I say make it make sense, see, until our senses are lined up with the divine love of our Creator and the divine understanding of the mind of our Creator, that the Creator's biggest desire is to see the manifestation of His kingdom, where we all know our purpose and our place, okay? So we're no longer operating of the spirit of pride and having this sense that we're supposed to be ruling over the creation of our Creator. Because as we look at this realm of His permissive will, this is the result of man's rule over this earth. Okay? And as I said, the spirit of the devil or Hasatan or whatever you want to call him is the spirit of our pride. Okay? that causes us to be self-aware in a way that causes us to be separated from the divine will of our Creator. So as long as we operate in this realm of self-awareness, family, the bottom line is we're in opposition or enemy of the divine will of the Creator, okay? So as we continue to be born of the spirit of our Creator, family, this is what makes us one with nature, okay? We live in a world that's void of the understanding of nature, the oneness of nature. Because if we truly understand these things, family, this would be a totally different world. And see, this is why I say that we must understand that we are still in the process of being created, because we're being prepared, okay, to ultimately come into our inheritance of the divine kingdom of the Creator when we become the finished product, okay? Because we still a work in progress. Because family, how can we hope to be redeemed or brought into a real understanding of our divine purpose and what's really going on here, you know, until we, as I've said in the past, until we question our existence and what it's really about, okay, we don't have a chance. Because when we're caught up in our emotions and the sense of pleasure and all of these things, we lose sight of those things, okay? The things of the kingdom. Because we're caught up, like I said, we are slave to our desires. And our desires come from our senses. And we are motivated or driven by our desire for the sense of pleasure, okay? We are slave to those desires, family. And so we have to be brought into that place where we understand things through the eyes of our Creator, because this is when things begin to make sense, okay? Ultimately, we come into agreement with divine truth because that's how we were actually wired, to have understanding. This is the thing that drives us to desire truth, okay? Now, ultimately, we have to understand there's truth, okay? But there's divine truth. And that's when we truly line up with the perfect will of our Creator. And the witness of that, family, is in nature. But see, we live in a world or a system that keeps us separated from nature. Because in our desire, in our flesh to rule the world around us, and this pursuit of happiness in this existence, family, this is the thing that actually blinds us to understand that, you know, it shouldn't be about our pursuit of happiness, but it should be our pursuit of peace, okay? And peace comes from understanding, okay? And this understanding comes from our Creator. See, until we understand that reality that we got to have that personal relationship with our Creator from within, because this is where the Creator lives. This is where the Creator ministers to us from within, okay? But if we're so caught up in the thinking and the system of this world where we don't even think for ourselves, because we always take the words of others and run with that. When everything we hear, okay, from others, we should examine those things through the understanding of our Creator from within by His Spirit. We must be made spiritually alive. And as we are born of the Spirit, the divine Spirit of our Creator, family, this is the thing that causes us to put our senses, you know what I'm saying, to come to understand that when we're hearing absolute truth, our senses agree, come into agreement with the divine will and understanding of our Creator. So we are no longer driven by our desire to experience pleasure, but we are driven by the understanding of the Spirit that causes us to line up with nature, with the oneness and the beauty of nature, the divine nature of our Creator, where we're one because we understand our purpose and our place. So the kingdom is an existence where the spirit of death no longer exists. Because as I've said, family, death is anything or any consciousness or place where opposition to the divine will of the Creator is allowed. And as I said, it's allowed for a purpose because it's a part of our creation process. Because ultimately, the Creator is proving the investment of His Spirit that makes us one with Him. So it causes us to rise above the desires or the lust of our flesh. So we back off from those things because as we're born of the Spirit of our Creator, our true nature in the oneness of His love comes forth. So that becomes the driving force in our lives. So therefore, then, in that pure state of consciousness, family, we only desire things that make sense. And see, having the mind of the Spirit of our Creator, this world don't make sense. The things that go on in this world don't make sense. Where do we get that sense of awareness that this world does not make sense from? It's the purity of the Spirit of the divine love of our Creator that makes us one to understand that death was not His will. Okay, it's not His divine will, but it is necessary that we be rose from the dead spiritually. This is why I continue to say we are in the process of being made whole and one as we go through this experience, family, because the Father indeed is proving the investment of His divine Spirit. Because do we serve Him or do we love Him because of who He is or because of what He's done? You see what I'm saying? Things that ultimately please us in these type of things. You know, the bottom line is, family, we should love and seek after and desire and serve the Creator just because the Creator is the source of all things and everything that we are. And so our natural desire is to serve our Creator in spirit and truth. Okay? And what I'm saying, once again, family, when I'm talking about truth, I'm talking about the kingdom of the Creator is His absolute truth, where we're all made one, as I said, with our Creator, ultimately each other, our fellow creatures, and Mother Earth, and who the Creator brought us all forth from. Such is the kingdom of heaven, where we all know our place. And so in that mindset, the things of the kingdom, that it all makes sense. Everything makes sense. And so we should desire, and for the child of the Creator, it is our desire to be a part of the existence that we don't have to say, make it make sense no more. Because through the understanding of the mind of our Creator, it all makes sense. So, you know, because we're caught up and we've been conformed to the image of the world, of this world that we know right now, which is ultimately the realm of His permissive will, we have been lulled to sleep. and to be distracted by the drive or our desire to constantly experience things that pleases us, to make us feel good. Okay? But we have to understand that what we're experiencing now is a necessary thing, family, because we should not be satisfied with where we are right now, with our spiritual condition. Because if we don't understand our purpose and our place, and this is only possible through the revelation of the Spirit of His divine will. And as I said, we got to understand that we have to come into our divinity as children of the Most High. And what I'm saying, I don't mean where it's a divinity that causes us to rule the world around us. No, because the only thing He meant for us to rule is ourselves. Because the rulership part of all of this, it's only for the Creator to rule his creation. And in the kingdom of heaven, where His divine understanding is what's the word I'm looking for? When it is a reality to us created beings, family, we are going to line up with the divine will of our Creator, because then we're going to be able to serve our Creator as we serve one another in the spirit of divine love that makes us one. Ultimately brings us into that holy place, because as I said, holiness is the divine order of the creation, of the Creator. No questions asked, because it's all about the divine nature of our Creator. Okay? So the things that make sense to us as we are being born again, these are the things that, as I said, make it make sense. Okay? Being born of the Spirit of our Creator makes sense of things. Okay? And so when we're encouraged to believe things and stuff like that we don't understand, and this is why it was charged to us that in all our getting to get understanding. He wired us to believe things, family, we understand. And I say fully understand. That's what we truly believe. It brings forth our perception of reality. And until things become real to us, that's at that place where things make sense, family. And that's what we fully and truly accept, because we were wired to believe this way. We've been lied to about having faith. And as I said, the scriptures define what faith is. It says it's the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. Family, it's no getting around it. These are things that truly, if we be honest with ourselves, they don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't line up with the divine order of creation. This is why we have to receive the mind of our Creator, family, so we can see things through the eyes of our Creator. Because it's only then that we can know divine truth and order and holiness and all these things. This is how we are wired, hardwired. So as we go through this creation process, or this experience of good and evil, spiritually, as we are made spiritually alive, then these things begin to make sense on even why we had to experience these things. As I said, family, ain't no teacher like experience. We could hear words and different things of people, but until we receive that revelation of the absolute truth of our Creator, family, we say we believe things and we fully don't understand it. It's the spirit of pride that allows us to accept these things where we believe things we want to believe. Okay? This is this deceitfulness of pride. Because as I said, as the created beings we are, our number one desire should be to understand the perfect will of our Creator, so that we could serve our Creator in spirit and truth. And that truth is absolute, according to the divine desire of the Creator, and understand the reality that each of us is just one expression of the Creator. And because we don't know that, that's why we're caught up in that's why this world, this realm is what it is. Whereas utter chaos, and it's because of none of us know our divine purpose in place. So this is why we must be born again. And as I said, to be born again is to receive the mind of the Creator that makes us one with our Creator, so that as we know our place and our purpose, family, we walk in the freedom of that. And this world denies us that, because this world makes us hate ourselves, because we don't know ourselves and our purpose. So we just basically get caught up in our emotions and our feelings, and we're driven to do things that continue to violate the laws of nature, because this is an artificial world. You know, all the things that we've been taught that we need to live and is necessary for, how is this life in this world, family? Ask yourself that question. How is this life? I heard a brother in a song, and he mentioned the reality that we are the only creatures in this world that have to pay to possess a spot for us to exist. Think about that stuff, family. Think about that. Why is that? Do we believe that that's right and that's okay? That's how it should be? Being honest with ourselves, we all know the answer is no. It doesn't make sense. How could this be a world of a creator that created us in the spirit of divine love, that causes us to love one another in all creation? Understanding that where it talks about, where the scripture was talking about, the love of money is the root of all evil. Yes, because money is a result of man's selfishness to rule, okay? Man rules this world through manipulation. It's the only way he can rule, because it's not natural for one man to rule over another, because rule is control. So the bottom line is, we're all being controlled in this matrix by the lies that we've been told. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that the son talked about, the deceitfulness of riches. See, riches in this world bring happiness to people. And as I said, it's just, happiness is a temporary emotion. You know, it's not the peace that passes all understanding. And so this is why I talk about us being a slave to the desires of our flesh. This is why we must be delivered from these things, family, so then it becomes sense. So the kingdom of heaven, all things make sense, okay? And as we're being brought into that mindset of the kingdom, even though it's tough at times and our experience is pretty hard, it begins to make sense on why we even have to experience this battle of good and evil. Because ultimately, it makes our relationship and our understanding of self through the eyes of Creator real. Okay? And so the bottom line is, as I said, He wired us to believe things we fully understand. This is what the Spirit does. And it should be our absolute desire to come to that place. Because if it's not, then we're being led to our own destruction by our own pride and our desire to rule something we was not meant to rule. Okay? As I said, we got to remember, rule means control. So as we talk about the fruits of the Spirit, what's the last fruit of the Spirit? It says self-control or self-rule, not the rulership over others, whether it's a person or place or thing. We all got a spot in the world to come for sure. But the bottom line is we can't come to know that spot if we don't have a relationship with our Creator to come to know ourselves, because it's our Creator who knows us better. Okay? So, I think that's about all I got to say. Like I said, our desire is that that should be the word coming from us. Make it make sense. Because the things in this world to the child of the Most High, it don't make sense. Because it's against nature. And so the bottom line is understand that reality that our Creator is nature. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, in my understanding right now, understand that the male and the female and stuff is all necessary in this realm of our creation process, as it's for the procreation of our species. Okay, but the reality is, it based on my understanding right now, like I said, I see the Spirit as the Father. And I see the mother is creation, or the earth that we came from. Okay, so the bottom line is, what I'm saying is, it's all necessary. And so the bottom line is, I don't have no problem understanding on why we're going through this process right now, because it is the process of our creation, as we are caught up in this battle of good and evil, and for the desire of the child of the Creator is ultimately to be delivered from this, to be made one, to be made whole, so each of us could be the best us we could be, so we could serve the Creator ultimately in spirit and in truth. And I mean absolute truth. And as we understand the oneness of creation and our place within that oneness, until we understand and love ourselves with the divine understanding and humility that we are creatures of service to the Creator. Okay? So the only way things truly make sense is when we understand our purpose and our place through the eyes of our Creator. This is why it has to be that number one desire for us, is to know and see ourselves through the eyes of our Creator, so we can understand the reality that all the Creator ever meant for us to be is ourselves, but with the understanding of His mind. And in closing, the other thing about that, He never meant for another person to be in between our relationship with the Creator. Because how could we truly know ourselves through another person being in between our relationship with the Creator? Okay, so with that said, I hope I said something to encourage you in some way, and ultimately, like I said, encourage you to seek the Creator for yourself, to ask yourself these questions, to come into an understanding of what and who you are. You know what I'm saying? To find yourself in the Creator so that you can ultimately serve the Creator under the spirit of divine love, to be a blessing to those around you. Okay? And as we all walk in the spirit of divine love toward one another, we're going to be delivered from this world, and this world's going to be done away with as we know it. Because whenever the Creator is done with this process, it's going to be done away with. And, the bottom line is, what we don't want to hear is the worst words ever. Depart from me, I never knew you. Because as we walk in the spirit of pride, He's in opposition to that. And so we got to understand these things. So with that said, I pray the Most High keep you and bless you and watch out over you and meet your every need as long as you continue to seek and search him out for yourself. So, with that said, until next time, I'll say one love and